Once upon a time, 3 geeks named Hurley, Chen, and Karim created a place called YouTube. It was a magical place where other geeks could share, create, and broadcast themselves. The geeks in YouTube became tubers, and they were, for the most part, free and happy within the terms of service. Tubers vlogged, they sang, they danced and laughed the days away. Hurley, Chen, and Corinne looked down upon their tuberland, and all was good, and they were happy. Your humble narrator, the incredible, invisible, shrinking YouTuber, PappyStu, arrived shortly thereafter, vlogged, sang, danced, and laughed the days away. In Tuberland, there was no limit to how many tubers with which one might meet, friend, subscribe, and play. With few exceptions, tubers were content and viewed Tuberland as heaven upon the World Wide Web, and it was good. Dark clouds rose on the virtual horizon, and alas, all things perfect, all too soon, were not. Not everyone in the world loved YouTube. YouTube was blocked in China, Morocco, Thailand, Turkey, Iran, Pakistan, and Libya, once upon a time or another, for their feelings were hurt and they did not like what tubers did. As the number of tubers grew and grew, others looked upon Tuberland with envious eyes. They coveted the ever-growing tuber community. They saw opportunity to profit from their utopian place. One giant, wealthy conglomerate called Google schemed and planned. The Google empire made Hurley, Chen, and Karim an offer they could not refuse. Piles and piles of golden treasure would be theirs for nothing more than the reins of power and authority over the bandwidth, the brand, and the terms of service as Google saw fit. Alas, the founders of this cyber heaven were beguiled by riches and cast out from their house. The tubers took little note. They were too busy vlogging, singing, dancing, and laughing. They did not see the virtual clouds building in their virtual sky. Google began ever slowly changing their new empire. A format change here, an option change there, and a TOS revision bit by bit. Their insidious recreation of YouTube in their image would make them rich beyond their wildest dreams. As time passed, their metamorphosis of YouTube made other corporate conglomerates jealous. They bickered over the spoils of community advertising. They dragged Google before judges and accused them of not protecting their intellectual property. They pretended original thought and demanded compensation. Google relented and made other seats at their table. They would share the feast with their corporate brethren. All would receive a piece of the Tuberland pie. As time passed in the virtual place still called YouTube, it became a shadow of its former self. Many disillusioned tubers surrendered, gave up their channels, and wandered into the uncharted wastelands of the internet. Others, more stubborn, clung to their little pocket communities and did their best to ignore the change of character of the once cyber heaven. These brave tubers still hold true to their faith in a YouTube resurrection in its unblemished form. They obstinately refuse to bow before the commercial lords of the host. They patiently await the community's return, when they will dwell in the house of Tuberland and reside in YouTube happily ever after.